Lindsay, for me, especially yesterday, our class with Bill Allison, I think it wasn't necessarily an aha, but just gaining a little bit more clarity around the difference between like prospecting versus marketing and like what those activities do for your business. And then understanding the difference between like a lead and a contact and how do you nurture those types of relationships. And so I think just getting a little bit more like sharp clarity around what each of those things mean and how we approach those with our behaviors was kind of an aha for me.
Excellent. And any other ahas from the last couple of days?
I'll say getting some more knowledge on utilizing command in our database, how to tag people in there and just kind of organize our database a bit too was a great help.
And starting from the beginning is it's a huge win for all of you to be able to come in fresh. Okay, and welcome, Susan. Yeah.
And I'll just add kind of on that, pile on a little bit on the command side, is to be able to kind of start with systems and to be able to kind of organize around, good systems. We created our own team, so we're kind of creating those systems ourselves, not sort of walking into everything being set up. So that's been great to have that support, both the tools as well as these sessions.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, great. And looks like we got Josh in here too. And so here's a secret to being a successful real estate agent. There is no secret. Success leaves clues, so we know exactly what successful agents do every day. So every day, agents do two types of activities. They grow their business and run their business. And I know that they've gone over this before. Part of this is repetition to make it so that you remember it. To grow your business, you lead generate for buyers and sellers. You make seller listing presentations and get listings, make buyer presentations and get listings, and preview real estate. And then for running your business, it's market seller listings, show buyers houses, negotiate contracts, transaction management to closing, vendor management, set goals, compliance and risk management, attend training and get coaching, and manage money. So the goal of our time here is to model what successful agents do every day and show you how to do it. This is what I'm really excited about because during a script practice, we never have time to go through the how of scripts. So I'm excited to be able to get to the nitty gritty here. So today, these are the skills we're going to focus on. Looks like a lot, don't you think? Why do you think that is?
Scripts cover multiple aspects of our business.
Yes, it's absolutely right. Learning and internalizing scripts will help you in all facets of your business, from lead generation to getting to a closed transaction. So the foundations of scripts will get you all of these other parts of your business. So quick overview of the agenda for today. We'll be covering the purpose of scripts, learning how to remove your limiting beliefs, and the benefits of using scripts. Then we'll move into the role model portion where you'll learn how to memorize scripts, followed by role play for script practice. And then you'll end the session with the recap, ahas, and reviewing your daily success habits. So the focus of today's Spark session is memorizing and internalizing scripts, and it's important for you to understand why scripts are integral to your business. So this is kind of the part where I talk a lot first. Learning scripts is important because practicing and internalizing scripts allows your business to grow. With scripts, you control the conversation by using purposeful language that helps you get to the end point, a closed transaction. They help you communicate your value. So once you have internalized scripts, you can add your value proposition, which will help your lead generation efforts and lead to closed deals. Scripts help you uncover motivations and identify any objections so you can handle them up front. Scripts allow you to have a rehearsed response that delivers a powerful message in a way that the consumer will best understand. They allow you to ask questions in a way that you'll be able to quickly share the information you need to better serve your clients. Scripts also help you gain confidence. One of my favorite examples is there's been many agents who go, oh my goodness, someone said yes. What do I do? What do I say? So that scripts will really help you with that. You will know you won't be guessing so much until you get into one of those weird situations that happens. Every new transaction is a new transaction. And one last one that isn't actually on this list, scripts also help you listen. When you're not worrying about what to say next, you're listening to what they're actually saying. So any questions before we move on? Okay. So first off, I need someone to read that top line for me.
Did you find everything you were looking for?
Okay, and how about the second line?
Go ahead, look around, and please let me know if I can help you.
Anyone getting some retail flashbacks right now?
Yes.
Okay. And the third line.
I see you admiring that big screen TV. Are you looking to get one for this big game this weekend?
So has someone ever used these scripts on you, or have you used these scripts yourself? Show of hands. And if you're not on video, I'd love to see your face when you're able. And what about anything similar? So what other scripts have you heard in your day-to-day life? And what scripts are you already using without really knowing it? This is
I know
free for all.
in retail forever, and so the "can I help you find something" was drilled in. It's almost so drilled in that I say it to people in the store now.
Just like trying to make the shelves facing again too.
Yes.
Yep. How about how are you? Good. You? What other things do you say just kind of automatically? It takes a moment to think about it.
Here's another one when you set up a call and for anybody, and then you call, is this still a good time for you?
Yep. So we have all these little scripts embedded in our lives already. The problem is that we learn the wrong scripts. And so we have to relearn the right scripts in order to best serve our clients. So these phrases on this slide are well known and commonly used. They're only really successful when combined with the person's knowledge of that industry, whether it's electronics, clothing, or real estate. Scripts should be seen as a tool that is essential to getting your job done. They should be 100% customer oriented and benefit the customer throughout the entire transaction. Okay, so now we're going to dive into an activity. So what are limiting beliefs? We'll just start with there. Anyone know?
I mean, it's kind of voice saying that no cold call, or it can't, work up the courage to, handle objections and, those kind of things. Something's almost like a fixed mindset.
You're absolutely right. And how can those hold you back from achieving what you want?
We kind of get in our own way.
Yes, absolutely. We do get in our own way. One of the things that they talk about in bold is the monkey mindset. It's the little monkey that's sitting on your shoulder and telling you, oh, no, you can't do that. You're not good enough. You're not, you're too new. Anything that might keep you, the negative self-talk that you have. Anything that would give you pause, something that makes you think again before starting. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to work on removing your limiting beliefs, particularly around scripts. So you're going to turn to page 4 in your participant guide. Everyone, if there's any issues with that. Okay. So you'll be completing 2 exercises. The first one will be just by yourself. And then the second, you'll be paired up in breakout rooms. So for the first exercise, write down a few limiting beliefs that have held you back when making phone calls, whether it was real estate related or not. Then for each limiting belief, record a way that you already have or plan to remove that limiting belief. You'll only be completing part 1, the top half of the page. We'll take 3 minutes for this. So if you are any questions about ideas on how to remove limiting beliefs, we'll also be covering that in part 2. A good way to think about it is, what's the opposite of it? What's an affirmation? I'll give you about 3 minutes, and go ahead and type in chat when you're done. Can I get that music back in here for these activities? I think I saw someone pop in. We are in page 4 in your participant guide. You're completing the first exercise. Write down a few limiting beliefs that have held you back when making phone calls. And for each limiting belief, record a way that you already have or plan to remove that limiting belief. Only doing part 1 right now. Okay, it's been about 3 minutes. And now we're going to pair you up with one other person. So to start with, you'll share your answers from part 1 with your partners. Then you'll complete part 2 together. So first, one of you will pick a limiting belief that you listed in part 1 to focus on and record in part 2A. Then with your partner, draft a short set of steps you could take to overcome that limiting belief. After creating that list, switch partner roles and go through those same steps again. You'll have 5 minutes for this. It's about 2.5 minutes for each person. When the breakout room box pops up, be sure to click it to enter it right away. And looks like we are currently at an odd number, so I will be in a room with somebody, I believe. We'll find out how this works. Since I'm Kyle just messaged me that he's driving. Go ahead and move him to a separate room. There you go. Welcome back. Okay. Everybody coming back in now. Okay. So welcome back. Did you learn anything interesting about yourself during this?
We probably all have similar limiting beliefs.
Yep.
Feeling a little less alone?
Yep.
How did your partner help you view your limiting belief from a new angle? So you have similar limiting beliefs, so how did a fresh perspective help?
So I was with Chris Wood, and we were talking about leaving a voicemail, and he said that he writes down a script, and I just kind of went, duh, why wouldn't I write down a script before I call someone, so that if I get a voicemail, I know what I'm saying.
Absolutely. The retail store that I worked at, we had a script for leaving voicemails for when a new item came in. So it's been a habit since then for me. Any limiting beliefs that you're not sure how to overcome that you would like some help with right now?
Would look for different ideas on this one, but like I feel like I don't have that many contacts with people, so like ideas for coming up with more contacts to even reach out to.
Well, just off the top of my head, I recommend attending events through the library online. They're doing a lot right now. And I've recently met people doing that. Really, if you can find someone doing online events, try and get involved. And they'll probably be into the same thing that you're interested in that is making you sign up for it too. So it's an easy conversation starter. There's
a meetup group. I was introduced to it when I moved here, and it's just called Meetup. I don't know if anyone has looked into it, but you kind of go on there. There's an all women's group. There's probably an all men's group. There's women with children, different ages. There's a lot of different groups that you can join. It's there's hiking groups and biking groups, and they're doing Zoom meetings. I only know that because I'm getting emails about it.
Yeah, meetups are great. Yeah, I was going to suggest that as well. There's meetups, there's Facebook groups, maybe community ones. I like to hopefully do ones that are around the community, so you have kind of a shared interest in in your area or in supporting local businesses. And oftentimes they'll have Zoom meetings to get together.
So, any ahas from this beyond the fact that you all have a lot of similar limiting beliefs? Anything that you want to make sure that we cover before we move on?
I would say we both had the same, where we're sort of paralysis by analysis, because like I was sharing, there's so many different ways to do things, or everybody, I feel like every time I turn around, there's some other group, or certainly I get so much marketing, in my face about, we have the very best system that going to make you the most successful. We're so much better than every other system you've ever tried, and what your broker is teaching you, blah, 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 right? So like there's all these methods that seem to be the best. And I'm like, well, that looks good. Well, I should do that. Well, I should do that. And I'm not picking something. I just need to like stop, like even just not stop learning, but okay, I'm already learning. Now I need to do. That's what my partner was saying, like too much, not too much, but like, yeah.
Yeah, that is a
Like
common issue.
Literally need to pick something. And I even thought, like, as we were talking it through, I'm like, because one of my limiting beliefs was I'm scared that I'm going to get frustrated that I'm not seeing results. Like if I start making all these calls and stuff like I'm supposed to do, like, and not really getting any appointments or whatever, but instead go, I'm going to try this one thing for a month and think of it as an experiment, you know, and let me just see how it goes instead of, oh my gosh, I need results.
But I'd even suggest, because real estate is a 90-day cycle, stick with it for 90 days.
Okay.
You won't know your results for 90 days. So stick with it and track it. And any other limiting beliefs we want to cover? I know I personally, when I first did this exercise in bold, it was, I am worrying that I'm annoying people when I call them. And that comes from a chronic oversharer. And, you know, it took me a while, and I still have days where I feel like I'm like that. And, you know, I flipped it on its head, and it's an affirmation now. People like talking to me. People do like me. And it does take time when it is something that is so internal, and you will get there. I do recommend affirmations. I used to also not like affirmations until Keller Williams. So okay. So that's the purpose of scripts, with a little side into limiting beliefs. So now that you have an understanding of the purpose, why do you think it benefits us as agents to use them?
So you know what to say and what words to use and questions to ask.
Questions are the big important one.
It gives you confidence.
Absolutely.
I think that kind of going back to like some of those like Kellerisms of like success leaves clues. That's kind of the beauty, and something that I've actually really appreciated coming into real estate is that there is like this big, beautiful, super solid model, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Like there's this proven track record, and it works. Like it's there. Like I love it. I love that it works. Like when I stick to the scripts, that's when I see the most success with my calls.
Absolutely. And touching on the Kellerisms, those are their own little scripts too. I find myself saying bold lots randomly to people. And if you don't know what bold is, you will be told when it comes around again, many times. I highly recommend signing up for it. It is a scripts deep dive. And so communication isn't about what you think you are saying. It's about what someone actually hears. So scripts allow agents like you, Ashley, to have rehearsed responses that deliver a powerful message in a way that customers will best understand. Or it can allow agents to ask powerful questions in a way that they'll be able to quickly share the information their customers need to better serve them. So Amanda, the benefits of using scripts are scripts build confidence in your job abilities. And scripts allow agents to stay focused on the conversation and in the present moment, coming back to listening. Scripts allow for consistency in what is said and actions that agents take. So what are some experience you have had when using scripts? Ashley kind of covered it a little bit before we got into it. And on top of that, what do you think is the most important benefit of learning and using scripts?
I'll share one I did recently. I made a little postcard and went around my neighborhood. I live in a townhome community, and literally knocked on doors and said hello. But I had kind of in my head what I was going to do, and I'm like, wait. And I went back inside my house and I like said it out loud. Right. Okay. And then I kind of, the people that actually answered the door kind of went through my little bit, and yeah, it's so much easier to have it in your head instead of, oh my gosh, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? You've got it down, and then you can concentrate on what they are saying, and then personalizing it to the person that you're talking to. And yeah, people were blown away with it. Actually, it was really good response.
Well, that's fantastic. Any other experiences?
This is actually a few years back, but there was, I'm actually also come from the kind of geeky tech world, but there was a Zillow hackathon years ago. And I was in a group that was, over the weekend, built some stuff, and I was kind of scripted to give the presentation. And I literally overnight, I think I had to practice it 20 times, and I completely memorized that thing front to back. And it was a lot easier to actually, of course, deliver it, succinctly and coherently, and be able to sort of feed off of the audience in terms of how they were reacting to different portions and that kind of thing. So it really made it much more smooth and easy to deliver, well.
Yes, and you're touching on a part that's coming up next too, about how memorizing helps you sound natural.
Yeah.
It's another big limiting belief surrounding scripts is frequently, oh, I'm going to sound like a robot. Good news is you won't. Unless you have a really bad Zoom connection. I've had that happen before, and someone does sound like a robot. Any other experiences to share?
I think for me, scripts allow me to, if I ever get lost in a conversation, to reel it back in and focus on, the key details of what I'm trying to get out of this conversation. So it allows me to, have a turning point back to where I'm supposed to be.
Absolutely, an outline of, where the conversation needs to be going. Oh. Oh, computer is thinking. There we go. Because this next one is a
I'm gonna
video.
share one more because this just
yeah.
happened. This just happened to me yesterday, and like it's in a negative way, and especially being in sales. I know what questions you ask and how the conversation is supposed to go. And it was a marketing kind of one of those things where, hey, we have the best system. I'm like, all right, I'm going to talk to you and find out what it is. The guy just went overboard on all of his questions. So almost like the stereotypical car sales question. So what will it take for you to take this car home today? It was almost that obvious, and he kept going and going and going with all these questions. I'm like, dude, get to your story. Like, you've already, it was actually really annoying. And I could appreciate maybe 2 or 3 of those questions, but after that, I just felt played, honestly.
When it feels like it's a checklist.
Yeah.
That's why actually they're going to cover that in a moment in this video. So everyone's being a little bit prescient about what's coming next. So we're going to go ahead and watch this. Before we watch, actually, turn to page 5 in your participant guide and quickly review the discussion questions before we start the video, because then we'll be using those questions to guide a conversation after the video is over. So take down any notes that you want to bring up, any ahas. Oh, okay, nope, go back. You can do this. Go. Seems to be the video is being difficult. Okay.
Hi, I'm Jeff Glover, and I'm going to tell you the top 5 things that you need to know about using scripts. Step 1, you're going to need to get your scripts from
And I tested it this morning in my own private Zoom room and everything.
You may try, Lindsay, you may want to stop video just for a moment while you play it back, maybe.
Yeah. Might be a rough connection. See what happens if we let it load a bit more. Maybe.
A top agent at the office, your team leader, a MAPS coach, or of course Keller Williams University. Step 2, we're going to need to do a total transformation of, instead of talking and telling, of asking questions. Selling isn't telling, selling is asking a series of questions that leads to desired response. So instead of talking so much, we need to get in the habit of asking questions. And asking questions gives us control of the conversation. Control of the conversation gives us our ultimate outcome, which is an appointment set or a closing. Step 3, we need to listen with good intentions. Well, what I mean by that is we need to listen to their answers instead of just listening to them talk and asking another question that comes to mind. For example, instead of asking a seller where they're
We're getting a little bit farther. We'll make it through. This definitely seems like it's a connection issue, so can only do so much when Comcast is working against you.
moving to, and then going on to the next question, how soon would you like to be there? Ask them, where are you moving to? And when they give you a response, ask them, what takes you there? Step 4 in becoming better at scripts is we need to learn to mimic, mirror, and match the prospect. What I mean by that is we have to listen to their tone of voice. We have to speed up or slow down based on how fast the prospect is talking. That means when they respond and say, we're moving to Toledo, oh, Toledo, that's exciting. What takes you there? 93% of communication is body language and tonality. And that means only 7% are the words that we say or the questions that we ask. Step 5, we need to take these 5 points and practice them daily. If you think of NFL teams, they practice 50, 60 hours on the practice field for a 1-hour game. Our game is our presentations and our appointments, and we need to practice daily everything that we've learned every single day before we meet with our clients. When it comes to scripts, my biggest aha is that everybody has their own scripts. We're pre-programmed to have scripts, and we're talking and asking questions that are scripted. However, what we found is that most of our own scripts are no good. And so we have to learn the right scripts, the right questions to maintain control of the conversation. Thanks for watching KW Connect. Make it a great day.
We made it. So, what is the benefit of asking questions versus telling in a conversation?
You get to know the person.
Yes, absolutely.
You get a lot more information.
Yes, absolutely right. And building off of that, you find the motivation, particularly in real estate. More questions you ask when appropriate, not just a checklist, the more you can hone in on what they are really after. And you can also find the objections by asking questions. What are some things that you can do in a conversation to show the other party that you are truly listening?
By repeating what they said.
Yes, absolutely. You are correct. You do repeat what they said. My favorite series of questions are usually, okay, so, where are you moving to? I will go with Ed. Where are you moving to, Ed?
We're moving to New York City.
Okay, and what takes you there?
Work. Yeah, we're going there for a job change.
Okay, Ed, so you're moving to New York City for a job change. When is it then you need to be there?
When? Probably, I don't know, probably in springtime here, coming up in a couple months.
Okay, great. So you're moving to New York for a job change and you need to be there by springtime. Am I hearing all this correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And that is part of another larger script, but that's one of the easiest ones that there's always a built-in question to figure out more. So repeat and affirm, asking related questions. So how does tone of voice and body language affect conversation?
There's kind of like that old rule of thumb, like with cold calling or just like calling over the phone at all, is like people can like kind of hear your smile through the phone. So, like sitting up straight, like having good posture, like those things really translate through the phone. And it's really crazy, like how much it really does. Like you can make or break a phone call just by like your posture and like just kind of how you're sitting and carrying yourself in that call. It also like affects your confidence too when you're either like slouching, versus like sitting up.
Yes, absolutely. The smile carries through the phone. Anything else to add on tone and voice and body language affecting conversation?
I liked what he said about mimic, mirror, and match.
Absolutely, Heather.
Yeah, I do find myself doing that sometimes when I'm talking, and I don't even really think about it, but sometimes I start taking on another person's like pauses or rate of talk that aren't usually my natural, but it is a way of also letting them know you're listening to them too.
Yes, absolutely. Like, how do you feel when someone's body language is really excited when you're not quite there? You just had a crappy morning, hit all the red lights. And it doesn't count if it's Carmen giving you a hug. She will cheer up anyone's day. But what about the opposite? What about when you're really excited and someone else is having a really bad day? Just always making sure that you are matching the emotion that is coming across in a way that it shows understanding. I see where you're at and I will meet you there. And there's also a lot more specifics we can get into with body language in a future script practice.
I got a couple of quick questions, or just one quick question for that one, Lindsay. So in the world of Zoom and everything, are there different sort of tactics there to sort of sort of make that, or just in the different ways that we're interacting, right? Because we're not able to do any of these things in person, or or at least a lot of times we're phone or Zoom. Are there additional sort of tactics that you're using to sort of the changes, the kind of voice and body language sort of tips?
Practice your scripts beforehand so that when the tech messes up, you're prepared. Yep. And this is something that when I'm doing this class, I've got so much going on. For when I'm doing a one-on-one Zoom, I always put their little image up right next to my camera. So I'm looking directly at them.
Right.
And besides that, it's going to be the same sort of stuff that you would do on the phone.
Yeah. Cool, thanks.
Yeah, I was going to add something about the asking questions. Back in my direct selling days, I learned about sharing information in the form of a question rather than a sentence. So yes, I think it is definitely about asking questions about that person, like, oh, where are you moving? Right, where you're trying to gain information from them. But even when you're sharing information, if you form it in the form of a question every now and then, like sprinkle them in versus just a statement, like our brains just hear it and learn it differently. And we start to answer the question in our head rather than just saying, for example, hey, the mortgage rates right now are the lowest ever. Versus, did you know the mortgage rates are the lowest ever? Or, and even like a couple of those, did you know, how would you feel? Have you heard, like, and I feel like it's a balance of being salesy, like you don't want to be salesy. But what I used to do, and I need to get back in the practice of it, is if I would have like 2 or 3 things that I know I'm going to say in the script or in the conversation and flip them, the information in the form of a question instead of a sentence, it just like our brains engage differently, right? So when I was first learning it, and I don't know if you are going to go through this, but when I was first learning it, I did it like super obnoxiously just around myself, you know,
Good practice.
like, wow, did you realize how much flavor comes when you put salt on something, you know, or something like that, right? And then just, it just engages people different, and our minds are answering, yeah, oh yeah, rather than, you know. So I think that's another thing to think about and kind of get in our tool belt of the question asking and communicating.
Absolutely. And that is something that is not particularly covered in this class. It's something that we can cover during script practice. It does get covered during bold. One of my favorite things is tie downs. So you would say, the mortgage rates are really great right now, don't you think? Which it, you know, opens it up for them to respond in an open-ended question as well. There's quite a few tie downs, which I need to get that file uploaded to the script practice folder so everyone can play the tie down game, which is say as many tie downs in a row without repeating anyone at a table. Any other ahas from this video before we move on? Okay. And so we're getting close to the halfway mark. I don't know, have any of the other instructors taken like a little break in the middle? Okay.
Yeah,
And
Bill did like a 10.
okay. So let me see where we're at here. Well, we are about halfway through. So I'm gonna, yeah, we'll do a 10, but be back right in 10 minutes. And when we come back, we'll be learning how to memorize scripts. And I recommend getting some water because you will be speaking. So I will see you in 10 minutes. So it'll be 10:04. about another minute according to my clock. And there we go. So, everyone back. Let's see a few videos off that we're on for the entire first part. So we'll go ahead and start getting into it. So now that you understand the purpose of scripts and the benefits of using script, let's get into the nitty-gritty, learning and memorizing scripts. Before we get into the role model with scripts, it's important to understand that reading through a script one time is not enough to internalize them and make them sound natural. It takes time and dedicated practice for scripts to sound natural. So Susan, they are a tool for you to do your job. How often do you practice a new task just one time before you are proficient at any job? We don't practice until we get it perfect. We practice until we can't get it wrong. I see Ashley nodding to Kellerism there.
Yes. And one of my favorite things that came from like my previous life is practice makes permanent. Like
yes.
Putting it into repetition. And so I always think that, but I always think of what the one you just said too.
So now we're going to turn to page 6 in your participant guide. And we're going to do a little brainstorming here. So what are 3 negative consequences of failing to learn scripts? I think this was originally supposed to be a group activity. And I didn't know what our breakout room situation was going to be. So we're just going to do a big round of everyone chiming in as you are brainstorming. We'll have a few minutes if you need to take some time to think. But as soon as you start coming up with stuff, start throwing in your answers so we can get some notes down on everyone else's sheets.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you get kind of those awkward pauses where maybe there was important information, maybe you didn't know how to respond to that, or you sort of okay, just sort of those awkward pauses and not sort of taking the conversation forward in a positive direction.
Great. Yes, that is definitely one of the negative consequences. I would also caution you against leaping too quickly to fill a silence. The silence is where people will add extra information frequently. So if you let some silence hang for a moment, you'll get a little extra tidbit.
Kind of going off of that, I was going to say not knowing what to say next.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I think for myself, when I don't stick to the script, I find that I'm not asking all the questions or the right questions. And so like I'll have this awesome conversation and then I'm like, I forgot where you're even wanting to look. Like, like something small. So like for us, like our team, they've beat like the LP Mama script into our brain. And I swear like my brain like naturally just has each letter. And I have like this little like mental checklist. And then I'm like, okay, once I have that, then I'm pretty solid. So yeah, making sure I get the questions and the meat that I need.
And because, it's this Keller Williams and we think about our big why, what is something more, like, even bigger than the immediate consequences of failing to learn scripts?
Maybe like losing your confidence and not wanting to do it again.
Yes, absolutely. That is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry, my light is starting to flicker because I turned on my heater. What does it look like for your income, for your goals? What does it look like when you said that you want to be in Disneyland? When we can, what does that look like?
You don't meet your goals.
Mm-hmm. And who do you have to tell that to besides yourself?
Well, if you're not going to Disneyland, your kids are going to be not.
So it's one of those things that consistency compounds in both the best and the worst ways. So in order to fully internalize scripts and make them your own, so they sound like your natural and friendly self, it is best to practice and memorize them. This takes time and, practice. So when you practice your scripts every day, Lexi, approach it with this mindset. Because of scripts, I sell more houses and earn more income. Or maybe for you, it's because of scripts, I help more families achieve their real estate dreams. Whatever affirmation helps your mindset. Okay. Any questions? Any ahas? Okay. Dive into the, oh, I should probably get rid of that little 10-minute break in the middle of there. There we go. Okay, so now you're probably sitting there like, okay, Lindsay, we get it. Scripts are important and we should memorize them, but how? I'm not an actor. It's simple. Remember, success is simple, not easy. So we're going to turn to page 7 in your participant guide. And there is a 6-step process to learning scripts. So Heather, can you read that first line for me?
The first sentence of the script. Sorry, read the first sentence of the script out loud 5 times.
Absolutely, and it's important to remember just the first sentence. When you read your script out loud, you're engaging your eyes, your voice, and your entire body. Junko or Ed, can you read the second line for me?
The same sentence 5 times with a smile on your face.
Oh, this one.
Oh, sorry. That one. When you read your script out loud.
Sorry, I messed up.
There aren't numbers, so it's all over the place. It's all good. So yes, you do repeat the same sentence 5 times with a smile on your face. And you will notice a difference in your tonality when you say it with a smile. So try standing in front of a mirror. Watch your body language as you repeat your script. And remember to start with just the same sentence. Okay, Joshua, you got the third line for me?
Read the second line of the script out loud 10 times while smiling.
Yes. See, there's a lot of repeating. And see, Ashley, the next line. Oh, you unmuted and then muted yourself.
Okay, I'm here. All right. Say the script from memory. Recite the first 2 sentences out loud 10 times with a smile. If you make a mistake, start over from the beginning.
Yes, absolutely. So you put the script down and don't look at it. From memory, recite the first 2 sentences out loud 10 times with a smile. If you make a mistake, start over. Okay, and Christopher, you got the next one? Oh, you're muted.
Say the script by adding 1 sentence at a time, repeating 10 times.
Yes. And anytime you make a mistake, you go back to the beginning. And finally, let's see, Emily, can you read the last line for me?
Say the entire script as fast as you can 5 times in a row.
Yes, and that one is the one that really seals the deal. Your chances of stumbling when reading the script at a normal pace after you've practiced and chanted them at that speed are very small. So, one question for all of you. Anyone musicians in this group? Okay, so this form of memorization is probably a little bit familiar to you because if you're playing piano and you practice your scales or anything incorrectly, you will start to learn it incorrectly. You will start playing the wrong thing, which is why you start over from the beginning. Or the bar. Music's longer than a script. So what I want you all to do is we're going to do this together, and it's going to sound a bit like a cacophony because I want you off of mute. so it's just not my voice droning on. We're going to open up your script book to page 6. Do you all have your script book with you? Okay. Well, I will instead share the screen.
Which script book?
The Ignite Spark script book.
Is this the
Not
need to
the
kill
one
William?
from my link. It should be in the toolkit.
Right. So this is page 5. This is page 6.
What I will do instead is
6. Then you with this microphone.
okay. Are you all seeing me in a PDF document?
Yep.
Excellent. Okay, so this is the one that we're going to do. I know that, this right off the bat does not work for all of you, and I lost all of your faces again. Come back. There we go. So the main thing we're going to look at here is the process of memorizing. If you're brand new, you can replace the sentence of working with great clients like you with working with great friends like you. And we will not be doing all of the forward questions while memorizing because the blanks are blank. We will just use how's the family. Okay, so the first part is the first sentence of the script out loud 5 times. We are going to, because it's such a short little one, go to do you have a moment? Because I think everyone already has the rhythm of saying, hello, this is my name. Are we all there? Okay. Let's see anything. If something is up, put it in the chat. We'll figure it out. Okay. Ready? Hello, this is Lindsay Dwyer. Do you have a moment? Hello, this is Lindsay Dwyer. Do you have a moment? Hello, this is Lindsay Dwyer. Do you have a moment? Hello, this is Lindsay Dwyer. Do you have a moment? Hello, this is Lindsay Dwyer. Do you have a moment? So I'm going to want you to join in, but say your name because you're memorizing this script now.
Out loud? Like, do you want us off mute?
It will be a cacophony. It's better than listening to me. So,
okay.
So we'll go through that again real quick when I want to hear some voices in here. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Okay.
Hello,
Hello.
Lindsay Dwyer.
Ashley.
Have a moment?
You have a moment.
Hello, this is
Hello,
Lindsay
this is
Dwyer.
Lexi.
Do you have a
You have a
moment?
moment?
Hello,
this is Lindsay Dwyer.
Do
Do
you
you
have a
have a
moment?
moment? Hello, this is
Oh,
Lindsay Dwyer.
Chris.
Do you have a moment?
Do you have a moment?
Hello, this
Hello.
is Lindsay
This
Dwyer.
is
Do you
Lexi.
have a moment?
Do you have a moment?
That's what it should sound like. That's what bold sounds like when you're learning scripts. But it's a room of 100 people. So now it's the same sentence 5 times with a smile on your face, although we were already smiling. But if you are not smiling, if you are able to stand up. I am attached by a cord. I cannot stand up. But if you are able to stand up, get that energy going. Yes, I love it. Okay, ready? Hello, this is Lindsay Dwyer. Do you have a moment?
Hello, this
Hello, this is Lindsay Dwyer. Do you have a moment?
Do you have a moment?
Hello, this is
Hello, this is
Lexi
Lexi
Dwyer.
Alloway. Do you have a moment?
Hello,
Hello,
this is Lindsay
this is
Dwyer.
Chris.
Do you have a
Alloway,
moment?
do you have a moment?
Hello.
This is
Lindsay
Lexi
Dwyer. Do you
Alloway.
have
Do you
a
have a
moment?
moment?
Excellent.
Hello, this
I love it.
Keep going.
Extra
Keep
credit.
going.
Dedication.
So now we've got a bit of a longer sentence. So it's the second line of the script, and we're saying it out loud 10 times while smiling. I know that you all have to look at it, so you can't necessarily stand up. If you have it printed, You can be standing. So remember, it's 10 times. So it's been a while and I'd like to apologize for not staying in touch. It's been a while and I'd like to apologize for not staying in touch. It's been a while and I'd like to apologize for not staying in touch.
It's been a while.
It's been a while and I'd like to apologize for not staying in touch. It's been a while and I'd like to apologize for not staying in touch. It's been a while and I'd like to apologize for not staying in touch. It's been a while and I'd like to apologize for not staying in touch. It's been a while and I'd like to apologize for not staying in touch. It's been a while and I'd like to apologize for not staying in touch. It's been a while and I'd like to apologize for not staying in touch. Okay, and you know what the best part about it with me sharing it right now like this? I can hide it now. Okay, so we are now saying those first two lines out loud 10 times with a smile. Ready?
Hello.
This is Lexi.
Have a moment. It's been a while. I'd like to apologize for not staying in touch.
Hello.
This is Lindsay Dwyer.
Lexi Alloway, do you have a moment?
Been a while.
It's been a while.
I'd like to apologize for not staying in touch.
Hello, it's
Hello,
This is Lexi Alloway. Do you have a moment?
Been a while.
It's been a while. I'd like to apologize for not staying in touch.
Hello.
This is Lexi Alloway.
Have a moment. It's been a while.
I'd like to
apologize for
I'd like
not
to apologize for not staying in touch.
Hello, this is
This is Chris. Do you have a moment?
It's been a while, and I'd like to apologize for not
staying in touch.
Hello, this is Lindsay. Do you have a moment? It's been a while.
I'd like to apologize for not staying in touch.
Hello, this is Lindsay Dwyer.
This is Chris. Moment.
It's been a while, and I'd like to apologize for not staying in touch. Hello, this is Lindsay Dwyer.
Do you have a moment? And I'd like to apologize for not staying in touch.
I just got all mixed up.
Hello, this is Chris. Do you have a moment?
It's been a while.
And I'd like to apologize for not staying in touch.
Hello, this is Dwyer. Do you have a moment? It's been a while.
And I'd like to apologize
for not staying in touch. Okay. How are y'all feeling about that?
That's actually really fun.
Yes. What a way to start your day.
Yes.
Our office is looking at us like, what is happening?
I know.
And so the next part, we are, because of time, going to cut this short for this particular role model. When you break out into scripts, the script practice that we're about to do, you will do it fully. We don't have time to do it with this big group. So we are going to add one sentence at a time, but we're not going to repeat it 10 times each. So I will model this real quick. So, hello, this is Lindsay Dwyer. Do you have a moment? It's been a while, and I'd like to apologize for not staying in touch. How have you been? Hello, this is Lindsay Dwyer. Do you have a moment? It's been a while, and I'd like to apologize for not staying in touch. How have you been? How's your family? And then skipping the other forward ones, but we'll go back to the beginning after each new sentence added.
Okay.
I will pull up the script again. I realize that is required for this next part. Okay, and get your video back. Zoom likes to hide your faces every time I switch things. That chat back. Okay, so we ready to go?
Yep.
Hello, this is Lindsay
Hello,
Dwyer.
this is Esther
Do you
Nielsen.
have a
Do you have a
moment?
moment?
It's been a while, and I'd like to apologize for not staying in touch. How have you been? Hello, this is Lindsay Dwyer. Do you have a moment? It's been a while, and I'd like to apologize for not staying in touch. How have you been? How's the family?
Hello,
This is Ashley Hall. How have you been?
You're good. I think I can pull a spotlight up. Nope, undo that. There we go. Haha. We have a spotlight. Okay.
Ooh.
So we're at, I've been busy growing my real estate business. So hello, this is Lindsay Dwyer.
Esther Nielsen. Do you
Have a moment?
It's been a while, and I'd like to apologize for not staying in touch.
How have you been?
How's your family?
I've been busy growing my real estate business and working with
Great clients like you.
Hello, this is Lindsay Dwyer. Do you have a moment?
Moment?
It's been a while, and I'd like to apologize for not staying in touch. How have you been?
How's your family?
I've been busy growing my real estate business and working with great clients like you. I wanted to share that I have a personal goal to help all families get into the home of their dreams this year.
Hello.
Hello, this is Lindsay Dwyer. Do you have a moment? It's been a while, and I'd like to apologize for not staying in touch. How have you been?
How's the family?
I've been busy growing my real estate business and working with great clients like you. I want to share that I have a personal goal to help 12 families get to the home of their dreams this year. As you already know, I'll do whatever it takes to help. Hello, this is Lindsay Dwyer. Do you have a moment? It's been a while, and I'd like to apologize for not staying in touch. Have you been?
How's the family?
I've been busy growing my real estate business and working with great clients like you. I want to share that I have a goal to help 12 families get to the home of their dreams this year. As you already know, I'll do whatever it takes to help people. I count on you to help me reach my goal. Hello, this is Lindsay Dwyer. Do you have a moment? It's been a while, and I'd like to apologize for not staying in touch. Ben, how's the family? I've been busy growing my real estate business and working with great clients like you. I wanted to share that I have a personal goal to help families get into the home of their dreams this year. As you already know, I'll do whatever it takes to help. I count on you to help me reach my goal.
I'd like to share my free real estate app with you.
Hello, this is Lindsay Dwyer.
Do you have a moment?
It's been a while, and I'd like to apologize for not staying in touch. Ben, how's the family? I've been busy growing my real estate business and working with great clients like you. I wanted to share that I have a personal goal to help families get to the home of their dreams this year. You already know, I'll do whatever it takes to help people. I count on you to help me reach my goal.
I'd like to share my free
Share my real estate
so
business.
easy.
So easy to check what's for sale and what place on your street, neighborhood,
Any place in the U.S.
Hello, this is Lindsay Dwyer.
Chris, do you have a moment? I'd like to apologize for not staying in touch. Have you been? How's your family?
I've been busy growing my real estate business and working with great clients like you. I wanted to share that I have a personal goal to help 10 families get to the home of their dreams this year.
You already know, I'll do
whatever it takes to help.
I count on you to help me reach my goal. I'd like to share my free real estate app. Easy to check the sale and what
Neighborhood, text with link. Does that sound good? I take a pause here because we're all on different wavelengths, but you get the idea. How many of you started memorizing the beginning of it? And so you're getting way ahead of my mouse marker, right? That's what it takes, is just repeating until you get the full script. The final bit, which we already have done a huge cacophony, but it is saying the entire thing 5 times fast. So, hello, this is Lindsay Dwyer. Do you have a moment? It's been a while, and I'd like to apologize for not staying in touch. How have you been? How's the family? I've been busy growing my real estate business and working with great clients like you, all the way through to the end. I see Ashley's face with no sound. Should listen to Derek Shank sometime if you ever get the chance. He is the person who inspired me to love scripts. Listening to him, it's like, wow. He's like Coffee the person as far as like his energy levels. So any ahas or questions about the process of memorizing scripts?
How much do you?
Oh, go ahead, Ed.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I know we talk about time blocking time to practice, but just expectation setting, like how often do you expect it takes to memorize a new script?
15 minutes a day for script practice is the general suggested.
Yeah, our team does 30 minutes, 8:30 to 9 every morning.
Right, no, so I get that part. But what I'm saying is that's how much time you put to it. But then expectation, like for you personally, like how long does it take you to like have that script down? Like 30 minutes and you're good, or?
It can take me a while. I do have ADHD. So my memorization skills can be a bit rough. And I can still memorize scripts. It can just take me a little bit more time. I don't have an actual time estimate because it depends on the script and how complex it is.
Okay, just curious.
For quick ones, the one that I use the most often, that was like 2 days for me.
Okay.
Although it's flown out again because I stuffed my head full of Dungeons and Dragons rules this last week.
Something that like was shared with our team with some of our like more tenured agents is like they still do their practice. Like it does, like no matter how many years, like even like our team leaders, Cheryl and Dan, like Cheryl scripts with us. Like she still does it after over 30 years. She's like, it's sometimes it's like refreshing to like revisit a script that you haven't visited in a long time. Like our holiday scripts, like our objection handlers. Like she was like, this is awesome. She's like, I haven't even seen these from the Herd group. Like they were awesome scripts for holiday stuff. And so I think for me, that just like goes to show like it doesn't matter how tenured you are, like it's all about like the behavior and repetition. But I love that exercise. I thought that was awesome.
Absolutely. So something happened with my my backdrop. I just realized it changed suddenly and I can't change it again. Huh. Interesting. Well, I'm going to pull up the slides again. We will be breaking apart again. Let's see.
No.
Okay. Any other ahas before we move on?
I really liked flipping our sort of fears or limiting beliefs into a positive and saying, because of scripts, I blah, blah, and then putting my goal there.
Absolutely. Okay. And so once again, this process of memorizing is how scripts become natural, second nature, and instead of having to think about what to say next. So you'll be able to listen to how your customer is responding. So now that we know the scripts, let's practice using them. So you're going to turn to page 8 in your participant guide, and I'll be pairing you up with a partner to learn and practice scripts now. You'll only follow the instructions for part 1 first. Yes, I don't think I can get you back into the same group easily since it's all random. We'll find out.
Lindsay, Chris and I are actually in the same office. I don't know if that would help with anything. Like we're sitting next to each other.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know if that's beneficial, like with organization.
You know, I will pair you with someone else that you're not usually paired with. Because otherwise you two can practice all the time together. It's easy mode. So this will be a little out of order from what the instructions say because of the breakout rooms, and that's all right. So first you'll be paired with a partner. Second, you'll pick any script. Since it seems like there was an issue with getting the toolkit out there, I will pull up that same script so that it's visible. Other than that, you can pick any of the ones from the Ignite script book. I recommend the ones on page 4, 5, or 6. Then partner A will stand up if you are able and are not attached by a cord and follow the 6 steps to memorize scripts. Partner B, it's your job to hold them accountable for each memorization step. Catch them if they are starting to skip past something. So after going through the 6 steps to memorize scripts, switch partner roles and repeat step 3. Any questions about part 1 before you begin?
I'm not able to pull up the scripts for some reason.
I will share that same script.
Okay.
So that it is up on your screen. At least I hope it will be. I don't know if it will go into break. Did the share screen go into the breakout rooms too?
I don't think so. I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well that is not helpful. Okay.
That same script is in our toolkit from day one. If you have that handy with you, you can open it up. It's on page 10 of the day one packet.
And I can drop it into chat real quick. Did the chat window even go? Disappeared on me. Aha, I figured out what happened. Someone signed in with the same account as me. So I am having some issues. But there we go. So there is now the full Ignite Spark script book in chat. So once again, any one of the scripts from page 4, 5, or 6. You will be doing this fairly rapidly because for this first part, we're only going to have about 10 minutes. So are you ready to go to breakout rooms?
Yep.
Yep.
It will be random. Oh no, it redid it again. That's nice. But I am going to random it from last time. Go. It's like I got a couple of you go. And Ed, if you can click the breakout room button. And Chris, wherever you are, Chris.
I'm gonna try to reload it. It's not allowing me to go in. It's like I'm gonna rejoin the call.
Okay. All right, Chris, for the last 2 minutes, I'm going to throw you into Emily's room.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay. Tech issues can't be predicted. Welcome back. There we go. Welcome back, everyone.
Hey.
So, any questions from what just happened? Everyone memorize a script?
Got started. Actually, I have a question for you, Lindsay, on the script practice that we have regularly, like 3 days a week or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's only 30 minutes, right? So what actually do people actually go around and do what we just did for 30 minutes? Is that kind of what happens during that practice?
Not the memorization part. That should typically be done on your own for the memorization, unless you need someone to help keep you accountable to actually following all the steps. Otherwise, it is meeting with, in breakout rooms to go through the scripts.
Okay. To actually recite them.
Yes, and do the full role play, particularly with different personalities. That really can help you know what to do when you're facing a different personality than you're used to, which is why I split up Chris and Ashley.
Okay, and I can attest to that because I'll tell you, practicing like with the rest of my team is like pretty smooth, but Chris is always like the most difficult client. And it's good though, because he's like, he has every objection in the book, which is so helpful to me because it helps me like learn how to like shuck and jive around those objections. And so you kind of want somebody like that, like Lindsay said, like when you get somebody that just flows easily through the script, like a client that just says yes to everything, it's just not realistic. But it does help you get the repetition in. But I think working with different personalities is super helpful. So I can definitely attest to that, Lindsay.
Yes. And as we are getting really close to the end, I am wondering if we want to be doing the full second part of this or not. I am thinking no, because you can all work on attending script practice with me to do that next part. And if you don't know that, I'm covering that in the next step. So any additional ahas or questions now that you've role played your scripts? No, it's not just role play, memorize the scripts. So we'll go ahead and move on. So now you're going to turn to page 9 in your participation book, which, there we go. It moved over now. So you understand that, like any new skill, becoming an expert on scripts will take practice to learn and perfect. So all of you should practice your scripts daily, so you're sharp and always ready with the exact right words to say or the perfect question to ask. So internalize this mindset. Learning scripts will make great things happen in my life. So can you repeat that one with me? Learning scripts will make great things happen in my life. We're going to do one more time. I know they don't put it on the screen. They should have. Learning scripts will make great things happen in my life. And it's not only important to practice scripts, you also need to frame the right mindset. So here are some ways that you can incorporate script practice into your everyday routine. So arrange a one-on-one script partner, particularly if you can't make it to script practice. Spend 15 minutes each day reciting scripts. This can be face-to-face or virtually. When you find a partner, make sure you both give each other the yes. Yes, you should give objections and say no for some responses. And ultimately, give your partner the win. You want to build each other's confidence. Unless they specifically request that you say no repeatedly. And then you're going to, another option is recording yourself saying your scripts on your phone and play them back while speaking along with the recording. And then there's joining script practice and role play with me Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 1:30 p.m. We go until about 2 o'clock. And I kind of revamped it for the new year. So each week is going to be a different focus. I posted it on the Facebook groups. Goldie also updated the Google Calendar. So the first week is forward conversations. And next week we're going into lead gen with Sphere, then lead gen haven't mets. And then we'll start moving into buyer and seller scripts after that. So it'll be a little bit more in depth than what we've been able to do before. So what other ideas do you have for incorporating scripts into your everyday routine?
So, sorry, Lindsay, a quick question on the role play sessions that you guys have, the regular ones.
Mm-hmm.
Are all the scripts in the Spark script book, or are they in a separate set of scripts?
They are not. So it is typically whenever I post it online, I make sure to include the script library that I have uploaded to Google.
Okay.
But it is also there at that link. I recommend favoriting it.
Got it. Thank you.
Well, you've got quite the script book there.
Awesome.
That is large. The ones that
there are many scripts in this world.
Yes, that's true. And you can bring your own too. If you find a script that you want to use that is not in there, because I pretty much only have KW University scripts in there. Anything that you want to bring in that you're like, oh, that's a great script, or my team wants me to do this script. Yeah, so any other ideas for incorporating scripts into your everyday routine? What about some habit stacking? Anyone know what habit stacking is? So when you are building a new habit, try stacking it on top of another habit. So what's something that you do every day? Do you take a dog out every day at 3 o'clock? Okay, well, when you come back from your walk, or even when you're on your walk, practice your scripts. Then you're already used to doing something at the same time every day, so it's easy to start adding on the habit. Well, simple to start adding on the habit, not necessarily easy. And if there are any other ideas that you have, go ahead and write them down on page 9. And so before we adjourn, we're going to reflect on our ahas for the day and plan our success list. So turn to page 10 in your participant guide. As you know, the goal of our time together is to help you think, feel, act, and use what you've learned to ignite your passion and help you achieve your big why. So write down your ahas for each of the categories: think, feel, act, and tools. And if, as you're coming up with things, I'd love to hear what you're filling in.
My aha for today was getting more comfortable with scripts and practicing them and saying them out loud. It's kind of like one of my limiting beliefs, along with phone calls, has always been scripts with me, has always been something that I've been kind of nervous to practice because I don't want to mess up and I always want to sound confident. But you're not going to get there unless you practice them. So it kind of, this exercise today kind of helped me instill that and made me feel more confident about practicing so I can feel more confident when I'm really doing it.
Yes, absolutely. Confidence.
I think the solidarity of knowing, like, I know that I only got to do like a breakout with one person, but like the solidarity of knowing that we all kind of like have pretty similar limiting beliefs, and that you're not alone, like just knowing like you're not alone in the journey of like having those conversations and like learning to like kind of just push yourself. Because honestly, like talking to everybody, like very confident, but it's just that like getting out of your own way to allow yourself to be successful, I think was like the resounding theme for me. So it feels good to like have that solidarity amongst the group.
Excellent. Any other ahas? I see writing, so I will just keep waiting. Oh, and one little command tip for all of you. If there's a script that you want to use on very specific calls, make it a task, put it into command. That way you know what script you're doing with your calls. And so that we have some time to actually get to the action items. We do want to, really reaffirm that taking the time to reflect on what you've learned is important in building your confidence, which was the main theme today, and celebrating your growth. So you'll keep doing this activity during each learning module so that you can keep track of your learning journey, assuming that everyone is on time and can fit it in. If not, make sure you do it at the end of your class. Because there's normally the daily success habits. So that's your 10 contacts added, 10 conversations a day, 10 handwritten notes, and 10 home previews per week, COVID willing. So one of your daily success habits is internalizing scripts, which I don't think I need to go over this slide again, considering we just spent the last 2 hours doing this. And reminder, particularly for a scripts session, do not call list. Follow it. Sign up for the registry. Check before you call. Update your list regularly. Honor consumers' requests and know the state and federal laws.
You know what? I would actually like to, and I know this isn't for this class necessarily, I would love to watch somebody walk through that. Like literally, technically, how do you do this?
Talk to Crystal.
Okay.
And after you make your script calls, be sure that you add contacts into your database and any relevant notes. You're gonna be asking a lot of questions, so you gotta get that information down. Practicing your contracts, more command things, and your success list. So we're about at time. You're welcome to stay a few minutes over, finish off, write down a list of tasks that you need to complete related to this session. And after you have that list, mark off which ones are should do's and which ones are to do's, and then an order of priority. And I would love to hear what your number one priority is.
Practice.
So how are you going to do that?
15 minutes a day, minimum.
When?
Every day between 9 and 9:15.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else before we end up closing out? There's a couple people jumping off.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, everyone.
Yep.
And they will want you to take the survey, I think. It's at the end of the slide. So if you have the time to take the survey, it's there.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You all have a great day.
You too.
Thanks, Lindsay.
Thank you. Thank you for participating at such a high level.
Sorry, I'm not looking at the computer. I'm trying to get the survey up, but thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.